Welcome to day 14 of the MDPN 100, which is 100 days worth of storytelling prompts to help you market your product in subtle, honest, and engaging ways. As always, I want to start by saying that you should not use AI to write your story. I say this because when you give AI your full backstory and what you learned from it, it can then learn it and feed it to any and everyone on the internet. We're entering a time where the only thing that'll set you apart from your competitors and AI is your story and expertise, the stories you have and the lessons you've learned that AI can't replace or replicate, yet and hopefully never. So I think it's really important for you to protect them. Now let's jump into the lesson. Today's theme prompt and story prompts can be found in the description below. In today's story, you'll talk about a breaking point that almost made you give up on either your product or the problem your product solves. You'll want to mirror a breaking point that your ideal buyer might be at right now. Think about a situation that made you feel so frustrated you were willing to walk away from a career, an industry, or a goal. It's important to make sure you choose something that your audience wants, is passionate about, and has probably been working toward for a long time. Something they're reluctant to walk away from. Or something that they really need to stick with. For me, it was the moment when I had been ill for months and was physically unable to work in person. I loved writing and teaching and really wanted to build a career selling digital products because I could build my business from the bed, have the freedom to travel around the world for medical treatments whenever I needed to, and have the money to pay off all of the debt I accrued while I was too sick to work. It seemed like the perfect plan, but I could not figure out how to get my business off the ground. I was stressing and overthinking every single thing to the point where I was too afraid to take any action at all. The stakes were too high, and my fear of failure caused me to stay frozen, and unfortunately, that lack of action was making me broke. I was so mentally and physically exhausted and frustrated with the process that I wanted to give up. But I had bills to pay and needed to figure something out. I specifically remember a day when I was dealing with excruciating pain and nausea, and I went to a specialist to get a specific test that my doctor believed would reveal the source of the problem. And after waiting 5 weeks for this appointment, the doctor looked me in the eyes with disdain and said, "You don't look sick enough to need this test, so I'm not going to give it to you," and sent me away less than 5 minutes after I sat in the chair. As I sat in the car, crying and feeling defeated, I checked my email and saw that Amazon had rejected my ebook for the 6th time, claiming that I didn't make the edits that I most certainly did. That was my breaking point. That was the moment I wanted to give up on everything. Luckily I didn't, and my long, winding journey led me to build MDPN for Creators, a growing library of over 700 digital product and content ideas with detailed guides that help you make, market, and monetize each one. And the MDPN 100, which you're watching now. And thanks to digital products, should I ever get sick again, I'll have the freedom to do exactly what I wanted to do back then. And I'm helping other people find the same freedom too. I'm glad I stuck with it. But man, in that moment, my soul was crushed. So what was your breaking point? It doesn't have to be as dramatic as mine, but it should tug at the heartstrings and be relatable to your audience. A universal theme that most people can relate to is needing to pay for something by a certain deadline and not having the money for it. But maybe that's not relevant to your product. Maybe you're selling a course on crocheting, and a give-up moment could be when you were almost done with an outfit you were making for a client's upcoming event, and you realized that you dropped a stitch somewhere near the beginning. So now your entire design was lopsided, and you had to start over. Or maybe you sell software, and you recall a time before the software existed when you were working on a task that the software does, and just before you completed the task, everything got erased and couldn't be recovered. I don't know. I honestly know nothing about crocheting or software. My point is, come up with a moment related to what your product does when you considered walking away and never looking back. The reason this helps generate more sales is because 1. It makes the potential buyer who's feeling hopeless and defeated feel seen and less alone. It lets them know that what they're going through isn't isolated. They aren't a total failure, and they can recover. You've been where they are. You've felt what they feel. You've thought the same thing they're thinking now, but you rose from it like a champ, and they can too. This level of relatability builds connection that lasts. 2. The difference between where you were and where they are now is that they have access to your product. So they don't have to trudge through the mud to recover. They can buy your product and bounce back way more quickly and easily than you did. So play up the heartbreaking moment that made you want to walk away and what took place after you decided to keep going. Show them the struggle. Then tell them why your product helps them avoid that long road to recovery. Remember, if they're reading your emails, watching your content, and looking into your product, they're clearly not ready to walk away. They're just looking for a good enough reason to keep going. So give them that. Tell them how your life has been since you bounced back from that momentary defeat. Tell them why you're glad you kept pushing. Tell them what you would have missed out on if you had quit, and why walking away would have been the worst decision you could have made. They want a reason to say, okay, I'll give it another shot. So give it to them. And tell them why that shot will be so much more successful thanks to your product. Life is hard, and we're all looking for ways to make it feel easier. I feel like people are more burnt out and stretched to their limits now than ever before. A lot of the people that are looking for your solution are at their breaking point. This is your opportunity to show them that you have a solution that will help them breathe, recover, and thrive. And make sure that your product can, in fact, do that. Like I've said before, the MDPN 100 is a tool for honest, authentic, and subtle marketing. Not lying and manipulation. Make sure your product solves the problem you're talking about. Don't break their spirit even more. If you want to make extra money but don't know how to, check out our growing library of over 700 digital product and content ideas with detailed guides that will help you make, market, and monetize each one. And if you don't want to create anything new but still want to make more money, consider becoming one of our affiliates. We offer high commission rates, and we add more ideas to it every month so it'll never grow stale. All of the Day 14 prompts can be found below. I'll see you in the next lesson.